They call them the faithful. And the faithful are roaring tonight here in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara as the Niners are winners on Monday Night Football. And welcome to SportsCenter. You know, I normally do a solo show, but in this part of the world, this is your neighborhood, my guy.
This is my neighborhood. Yeah, how we doing tonight, guys?
George Kittle in the building. He's going to do we're going to do the highlight together.
I can't wait.
All right, let's do this.
I'll follow your lead.
You're going to enjoy this as the Niners are victors tonight. Aaron Rodgers, a legend here, coming back from injury, and your guy, Brock Purdy. No Christian McCaffrey. We found this out about 4:15 local time. I'll ask you about that in a minute. All right, so we're all curious. How's Rodgers going to look here on a 3rd and 3? Lazard, who had a big night with a couple of touchdown catches, can't squeeze that one, which means you guys are going to get the football and see what you can do with it. You give it right back. And so now Rodgers.
Why does it say 4th offensive play of the season?
Because last year we know what happened.
That's tough.
Are you aware of that? I mean, you guys know the deal. Like you're,
yeah.
I mean, you got to be rooting for the guy just to stay healthy and upright. He's a legend.
Aaron Rodgers is good for football.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's good for football. What a punch out by Mr. Fred Warner.
Yeah, that guy's incredible.
He's a pretty good linebacker.
And what a leader. They punch it out, you get a field goal. Now,
great catch.
Rodgers starts cooking. A heck of a throw, back shoulder.
Great catch.
Wilson, that connection you could see after this drive. He said, "You and me all day, 5."
Yeah, he did.
And again, it's Wilson from Rodgers, and they're on a lengthy, time-consuming drive. What are you doing during a drive like this? It takes 7 minutes, just hanging out?
Breathing.
Yeah.
Just getting ready for one of the 14-play drives we had tonight.
Existing, right?
Yeah, just hanging out, getting my breath, getting ready to roll.
All right, well, the Jets, hey, that's a big drive.
Great drive.
It ends in a touchdown, and it's a lengthy. There it is, all bleeping night. That's where he was talking to his guy. Okay, well, all night involves the home team, too. Here, Rodgers under pressure and taking down Leonard Floyd. That defense has got a lot of dudes. So does the offense. And how about this young man, Jordan Mason? We heard about him in camp.
Yep.
But at some point today, he finds out you're going tonight, and you get the call, and he was ready to go.
He was very ready to go. He runs downhill. It's awesome. You saw in the preseason, too, our first preseason game versus the Titans.
Yeah.
He had like 6 carries for 70 yards, so we knew he was going to cook.
Speaking of running downhill, the first man has never tackled Debo in his entire life.
No. Why would he? He just chooses not to.
He looks lean, doesn't he? He's in incredible shape.
He's in incredible shape. We love that, Debo.
All right, now Purdy with time, and don't let that fullback slip out of the backfield.
Just the 10-time Pro Bowl, 100-time All-Pro fullback Kyle Juszczyk right there.
Yep, and Wifey's doing pretty good too. How about that? And now Mason.
Touchdown.
Somebody's going to figure out Mason, McCaffrey, Eminem, something. I don't know. But he had just a remarkable night. McCaffrey coming over, showing some love. Now here, Rodgers on a 2nd down. Looks like maybe a 1st down. No, tip drill. It's
tips and overthrows. You got to get those.
Demetrius Flanagan-Foles gets the pick. Defense hands it right back to the offense.
Hell of a play.
And the Rodgers expression sort of tells the story. You understand that. That wasn't what they were looking for. It's 26-7 now. You give this dude a free play. He's the greatest in the history of football.
His highlight reel on these are like 10 minutes long. It's outrageous.
It was a joke. He's thrown 19 touchdowns on free plays. It's incredible. He hits Lazard there. So they're hanging around. It was going to take a million things to go right for them here on a 4th down.
My guy Ike.
He's looking for.
We just signed him.
Wilson.
Hell of a guy, hell of a golfer, too.
Yeah. Love it. And Mason.
There he goes.
Putting finishing touches on this night.
How many yards did he have? 140?
I'm looking for it. Enjoy the highlight at home as I peruse. 147 is the number. Well, you know what that's about. That's a couple of Iowa State guys.
I know that was a tough one for me.
I got to ask you, what'd you lose on? I know you lost something.
I got to wear. You want me to ruin the surprise?
No.
No. You want me to hold on to it? You'll see it on Thursday.
Okay, so you have to wear something.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear his football helmet from when he played.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna have fun with it though.
You had won 7 of 8, so
I know.
And you had enjoyed.
You never want to lose a QB1 though, but it did make put him in a positive mood. I think that's why he played so well tonight.
From our perspective, sitting here doing the show we do to lead into the game, we get the McCaffrey news, and it's like, whoa. It's obviously something you knew before we did, but how prepared are you for the reality that one of the most impactful offensive players isn't going to be able to go for you tonight?
I mean, you could say the best offensive player because he won offensive MVP last year, right?
I would agree.
He should have been in MVP conversations, and I think he was, but when you don't have Christian, it takes some plays out because you're not going to run like some of the cool routes and stuff that he does from the backfield. But like, the nice thing about that is all right, so then we don't run some of those cute plays, and we're just running straight outside zone, weak side zone, and we're just getting after him in the run game. And then that allows Debo to get opened up, B.A., Jawan Jennings, allows us all to get a little action in there. And I kind of like that. The only positive of Christian not playing tonight was that we just ran outside zone all day, and they had to switch down to 5-down linemen, and they still couldn't handle it. So I love that type of football.
We had a lot of conversation in the pregame about just you all and how close you've been, and clearly that's the positive. You guys are one of the best teams in the National Football League. We all understand that. But the residual of being as close as you've been now twice against that team in Super Bowls to adding to this massive total of Super Bowl titles, what's the residual, like the lingering impact of that throughout the offseason? Do we overrate how much that kind of hangs in the air?
You know what? It lingers for a little bit, but then the second that you get back in the building, it's just like a breath of fresh air, and it's like football's back. And all I can focus on is the next play. All I can focus on is the next practice, the next game. That's all I can put my attention to, because if you just sit there and linger all day on it, it's going to affect you for the entire season. While it's disappointing, yes, I got to go out and play Monday Night Football tonight, and I'm not going to think about it at all because we just went out there and we put up a bunch of 180 rushing yards on a very good defense. So don't really think about it too much anymore.
It's such a long season.
Yes.
And yet, this is a pretty nice. It's fine. We've done the highlight. We're good. And if like push comes to shove, I'll just keep asking you questions. But a game like tonight against a defense in the Jets, who's as good as any, to play the way you did without McCaffrey, in a room where you already know you're good, what does this say to your group about what you are already?
I think the key is that because we brought back all of our offensive starters from last year, and then we throw Purdy into the mix, who had a hell of a night at right guard, our rookie from Kansas, we're able to just kind of hit the ground running. And we had 2 3-and-outs to start the night, and luckily we have a great defense that is able to handle them and keep the score low. Gave us opportunity to just get the ball going, get our run plays in, had those long drives and stuff like that. That's what you want to do. You want to see those long drives out there, and I think our offenses hit the ground running, and you're going to see a lot of good offense from us. And when Christian's back next week, you're going to see some of those fun plays. You're going to see the offensive MVP go out there and be a really good football player again.
I guess the other thing about it being a long season and the fact that you've been as close as you've been to finishing things off is that, you know and we know that you're one of the best teams in the National Football League, and it's a long way to go to get to the end when it matters. So, I mean, in terms of just being disciplined and focused on what's next and staying in that moment and not letting yourself get too far down the road to that last hurdle to clear, is that a learned behavior? Is that something you have to kind of remind yourself to do?
Initially, yes, but I think we have so many captains and so many leaders. We have so many of these core players who've been here for a long time.
That makes sense.
And we all understand that. John Lynch understands that. Kyle Shanahan understands that. That's what we talk about. We talked about it on Friday. We talked about it on Saturday. It's just focus on one game at a time, and the rest will take care of itself. And before you know it, the football season flies by. Next thing you know, it's going to be week 8, week 9.
That's a fact.
Just keep one day at a time, and the rest will just take care of itself.
We're back here for Monday Night Football to end the year. Actually, we're back out here to end the year against Detroit. So a million things will come into focus between now and then.
Yes.
What I always forget, because we do an East Coast show in D.C. where it's 11:35. It's only 8:35 out here. I need to know 2 important things.
Yeah.
A, where's the party bus? B, how far is In-N-Out from here?
In-N-Out is probably less than 2 miles away.
All right.
It's across the street from our team hotel.
Okay, excellent. We need the party bus. We need your party bus to wait for us, me and Stanford Steve, and we need to go to In-N-Out. I don't care what people say. Someone said to me it was overrated on social media. I'll find you and fight you.
I don't think it's overrated. In-N-Out's a fantastic thing.
Oh, there's better?
No. In-N-Out is great. If you love In-N-Out, I get why you love In-N-Out.
Okay.
It's not my favorite, but I enjoy In-N-Out once in a while. But I'm not a big fast food guy anymore.
Oh, we can see that.
Yeah. No, it just.
I'm old.
I don't need that.
I'm old and washed. I'm going to smash it.
When I'm retired, I'll get back into fast food maybe just a little bit. But you know what? I do have a party bus tonight.
We did a thing on it.
It was my
party bus. Show
do you guys want to go on the party bus?
Party bus.
They all do.
Come now. Party bus.
There we go.
All the faithful can fill on the party bus. There we go. Huh?
It was my mom's 65th birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
I know. She's climbed a mountain the last couple of weeks. She's dominating.
Yeah.
As my mom's sisters. Oh my gosh.
See, I didn't have all the specifics on this, but now I know it. Happy belated birthday, Mom's Kittle.
She said, all I want is a win, and then I'm going to go home and have a great time. And I think she said she wants In-N-Out too.
Fantastic. So me and your mom on the party bus. Boom. George, be good. Good health, good luck. George Kittle, ladies and gentlemen. The faithful enjoying this. Good times, my guy. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate you. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you. George Kittle and the Niners are winners tonight over the Jets. And you see, when they've started 1-0, after finishing as the runner-up in the Super Bowl, are they a playoff team? Overwhelmingly, the answer to that question is yes. They lose the game. Rodgers' thoughts after his first game in more than 600 days.
It's been a while. I felt great. A lot of gratitude just to be back in pads. So many people helped me get to this spot. So I'm really thankful for my surgeon, my PTs, my loved ones, my friends, the staff here, training staff to help me get back was really cool. Obviously, wanted to take a shot and feel the physicality of it. Once I threw a couple balls and took a shot, I felt good. Felt like I was into the game.
When you had the 7-minute drive for the touchdown, I think there were 3 straight third-down conversions. When you have a drive like that early in the game, coming off your long layup, are you thinking to yourself, come back here, this feels right, or what's going through your mind when you execute like that?
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. We had some on-the-ball plays there where I have kind of a menu to choose from. Luckily chose the right ones in those situations and made the proper reads, but I felt like the protection that drive was especially good. It was great all night, but that drive I had a lot of time to throw. They didn't bring a lot of pressure, played a lot of soft coverages, a lot of two-eye stuff. They mixed in some man here and there, but overall it was they were stopping the run with their front, and they were playing pretty soft in the back end. But we had to do a better job starting the second half there. Get back in the game. We put our defense in a tough spot. I did.
Is there anything to, Aaron, I know you guys had all in camp, but there's a lot of new pieces that haven't played games together on the line, new pieces of receiver you missed last year. Does that contribute to some of the struggles you guys had, or is that just...
that's an excuse, for sure. I'm not going to use that. I don't think we should. We expect greatness when we step on the field. There were moments, for sure. There were moments that felt really good, but not sustained, Felt like if we could just get a first down, we'd be rolling. And we had those 3 and outs, which really hurt us. But I think a lot of stuff's correctable, which is great for coaches. It's frustrating for players because we know how close we were/are. But no time for that. We're going to move on to Tennessee quickly, and then we got a game 4 days after that. So this is a tough opener for us, travel-wise and schedule-wise, but no excuses. We got to play better. I got to play better, and we'll bounce back next week.
You were not happy.
You see the struggles for Rodgers in Week 1 since 2021. Obviously, last year the injury is they won a game, but against Buffalo. But he has had 3 losses in his team's games that he was able to finish, and they scored fewer than 20 points. They allowed nearly 30 points per game as well. Ryan Clark, Emmy Award winning. I know how much I look forward to these segments. I know how busy you are Monday, but it's fun to get a chance to run these back and do it. You got a tape on Jordan Mason we're going to get to in a moment. I just want to get your thoughts on Rodgers and what we saw, because that drive, when it's humming, you're like, here we go. But did you see a man that looked comfortable at all times on the field tonight?
You know what? He didn't. When the San Francisco 49ers, he mentioned the soft coverage they played. When the San Francisco 49ers were making Aaron Rodgers hold the football, he looked a little jumpy in the pocket. He never quite got settled, as if he was trying to make sure he'd get the football out of his hands. And we talked about it before the game. Like, there's going to be some discomfort after not playing for 610 days. But I do believe as Aaron Rodgers begins to settle in, and some of those new offensive linemen settle in as well, he'll get more comfortable in what he's doing inside the pocket. And I think once he starts to get that feel back, we can see a more consistent Aaron Rodgers. The drive he talked about, the protection being great. We watched him get it out of his hands quickly. We didn't see that throughout the rest of the game.
I'll tell you what, though, that Tennessee defense is nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicago didn't win that game yesterday because of their offense. That's next. I don't believe New England's next. And look what they did against Cincinnati. So you're going up against 3 really good defenses right out of the chute for Aaron Rodgers. But I love what he said at the top about gratitude. I think it's an important thing for everybody. Just you wake up in the morning, man, you're grateful for the day that you have in front of you. His included, a chance to get back on the field tonight. We didn't know when we woke up this morning that Jordan Mason was going to be the guy that was going to start tonight. Maybe he did, but at some point he found out, you're the guy tonight. What did he show everyone? Those UDFAs sometimes.
Hey, every now and then you get you one.
A little hungry now.
You know, it was great because what they did without Christian McCaffrey was use Jordan Mason to be the downhill runner. You heard George Kittle say they simplified it, and then they got on the edges with Deebo Samuel. Let's look at the 2 touchdowns from the team tonight when they ran the football. Here is going to be early with Deebo Samuel. And at this point, Jordan Mason is running the football extremely well. There was actually a 22-yard touchdown that was called back. After you get this motion, they're trying to see what sort of defense they're in on the other side. So then you're going to get a jet sweep, and out of the jet sweep, Juwan Jennings is going to lead upfield, and then you're going to get a kick out by George Kittle. Okay, here, let's start the play. Here, you're going to see Deebo Samuel comes in motion. He gets the jet sweep. Okay, let's pause it here. Now, this is where George Kittle is going to create a chasm or a hole for Deebo Samuel to run through, and you see once George Kittle gets the kick out, Deebo Samuel now with the physical run as he runs over Chuck Clark to getting an end zone as you watch this play finish. These were the type of plays that they used Deebo Samuel for, who I talked to, and he told me he had to learn about 30 run plays that were put in once they found out Christian McCaffrey would be questionable for this game. Now, watch this play. We saw in the last play, George Kittle and Juwan Jennings were integral in getting Deebo Samuel into the end zone. Now, Deebo Samuel gets in it. He's going to get a crack down here. George Kittle's going to fold back to the middle, and when he folds back, that's when we're going to see Jordan Mason hit here and then get the cutback to score the touchdown. Now, as you let it play, this is why the San Francisco 49ers are so successful. They have skill players that get to the second level and get blocks. Here, you see Deebo Samuel, he's going to fit in right here, and George Kittle fit in as well. Jordan Mason set a tone. You know, every now and then, it's not about what the X's and O's say. It's about the physicality in which you play. And his style of running, though different than Christian McCaffrey, may have been better tonight against the Jets, who have C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams, who love to go sideline to sideline and make plays. This was one of those games where you had to be a tooth chipper, and Jordan Mason was the greatest tooth chipper of them all.
And Christian McCaffrey, he might just be singular, Ryan, in terms of his ability to impact the game from that position, both in the running and the passing game. They threw it to Mason once tonight.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, he's the guy. However, when you demonstrate the ability to answer the call in the manner that Mason did against this team on this stage, in the room, how does that change the way people look at this player and what he's capable of being to the team?
Well, what it does is it says maybe we don't have to use Christian McCaffrey all the time. Maybe we can spell him. It's obviously never going to be backed by committee when the best running back in the game is on your team. But if you have drives or if you have different packages that allows Jordan Mason to get some of those touches, to take some of those hits and some of that physicality off of Christian McCaffrey in the meat of the season, then what sort of player can he be down the stretch? What sort of player can he be in the playoffs? And I think we've seen this with so many different teams, having 2 running backs who can do different things and utilizing them both. Now, obviously, Christian McCaffrey can run it. He can split out. He can catch the ball from the backfield. But what we saw from Jordan Mason today is a tone-setting type of running style that I think becomes huge in the goal line, 3rd and short, 4th and short, and also in games where you need that physicality.
Looking at the box score when it's done, and we talked about this so much both on and off the air tonight, that this Jet team was able to lean into its defense last year in spite of the fact that their O-line playing quarterback play was just abysmal, and their defense gave them chances. Well, tonight, their defense wasn't able to keep. I mean, they forced a bunch of field goal attempts. Otherwise, this is an enormous blowout. But I'm curious if anything that you saw was concerning tonight from the Jets defense in terms of what they couldn't do.
It was concerning because normally the Jets defense is full of enforcers, right? It's full of guys that know a way to stop the bleeding, because this team has been bleeding out for the last 2 years. Last 3 years, they had quarterbacks who couldn't make plays, an offense that couldn't move move the ball. And every year we sat there, we said if they could just have a competent offense or a quarterback that resembles a little professionalism at the position, this could be a Super Bowl caliber team.
Right.
Tonight, this defense wasn't Super Bowl caliber. This defense didn't play with the level of physicality you need to play with in order to be championship caliber. And so I think Robert Saleh is going to have to go back and say, hey, we can't let up just because 8 is on the field. And I do think sometimes that sense of security or the sense of urgency when you know you need every play makes you play a little differently. They learned tonight that if they don't come out with their best stuff, they can be dominated as well.
Well, maybe it's just the fact that the team they're playing tonight is Super Bowl caliber on offense, even without Christian.
Didn't they look good?
They really did.
Like this was one of those. It's hard to say statement win in the first week.
I agree.
Right, but you talked about how do you rebound after a Super Bowl loss?
Mm-hmm.
What do you learn about yourself through that process? I think they learned that if we're consistent and we execute the way we're supposed to, we can beat anyone.
At some point today, I said I was going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up here. Xander Schauffele, a guy that plays golf, he was close to winning majors and he didn't. And he just said, you know what I'm going to keep doing? Playing exactly the way I play because I believe eventually it'll be enough. Then he went and won the PGA, and then 2 majors later, he won the Open Championship. I believe this is a team, if they just keep doing what they're doing, eventually, inevitably, they're going to add to the Super Bowl championship pile, which already includes 5. Ryan Clark with me on Monday nights. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you, brother.
Pick him up if you can. I don't know if you're going to be able to get Jordan Mason after this night. First career start. Went undrafted out of Georgia Tech in 2022. Most touches in an NFL game were 11. He was going to surpass that in a big way tonight with Christian McCaffrey out with that calf injury and an Achilles. It's bugging him as well. Bulling his way, forcing a first down. He had a touchdown earlier on this drive. It was called back due to a hold, and they run Debo into the end zone. Niners so creative in the play calling. Sometimes, though, you just run and over and over and over. Run through such and such's face, something like that. It gets tough if you're going to try to quote Marshawn. You got it. There's the one pass that he caught. So you're using him in the passing game like McCaffrey? No one's like McCaffrey. But Mason puts his foot in the ground, runs through tackles there. He had 28 carries. That's his most in a game since high school, 2016. What a night. 147 yards and a touchdown as the Niners win by 13. Kyle Shanahan called his number, and he was ready to answer the call and celebrate. You love to see it. Shanahan asked to describe the running style of Mason. Here's how he put it.
Get him the ball, he breaks tackles, usually gets more than we block for. When we had the good lanes, he always hit them and got a bunch, but JP was awesome today.
What happened with Christian?
Just the same stuff that was bothering him all week. There was a little too much today. Game time decision. He came in, just talking to him about it, it was still there. Thought it was going to be smart to keep him out, and glad we did.
Kyle, Jordan said after the game that he was told on Friday night he was going to start. When did Christian start feeling awry?
I never told Jordan he was going to start. Told him he had to be ready a bunch, but I might have been Bobby or somebody trying to pump him up, but I knew he was going to have to play a lot. I told him that he was going to have to, it wasn't going to be like usual. It was going to be a number 2 back that was splitting a lot of the time. But no, he didn't know he for sure was doing that today.
You know, Christian does a lot, I think, in the pass game. You know, dropping back and either going to him as a first option or knowing that he's my last option and there's a really good chance that he's open. But with JP, I think JP did a good job coming in, and you know there were some third downs and stuff where I was able to hit him on some check downs and him doing the same thing Christian has done. So obviously, you know, Christian is the best, you know, in the league at running back and what he does. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I think JP did a good job of coming in and filling his void and doing his job to allow other guys to get open and allow us to run our offense. So.
Not that this team needs confidence, Brock, but given all that you guys went through in the offseason, what happened to Ricky last week, and that traumatic experience, no Christian tonight, to have a convincing win like this against what we all believe is probably going to be a good team, what does that do for the confidence?
Yeah, I think it's good for us. You know, we've been through a lot as a team, you know, just with signing guys, trying to get guys back, Ricky's situation, and Christian, and yeah, there's a lot that goes on. It's the NFL, you know, some crazy stuff can go on, but just our culture, our team, what we stand for, and how we all come together and find ways to win and rally around each other. We do it right here, and that's something that I stand on and firmly believe in, and we all do. So, you know, I'm very proud of the guys to be able to, you know, fight through just all the adversity and stuff that we've been going through in the last however many months. But we're just going to keep pushing.
147 rush yards by Jordan Mason. They all call him JP, so JP Mason. The fourth most, I should say, in a season opening game by an undrafted player in NFL history. Mason on a list which includes the likes of Arian Foster, Willie Parker, and Priest Holmes.
You realize all of a sudden you're not there. We gotta go prepare, get better every week, every day, every rep. Truly, because we're not there yet. They whooped our ass today, and that's the reality of it. And we got to find a way to get better. You know, the great teams will bounce back from this, and that's what we plan to do.
Felt like our offense could never get a chance to get in rhythm. You know, the first drive had a chance to extend it, and I thought Allen had a really good game, minus the first third down. Then we had the fumble on the second drive. Then we had a really nice drive, and then from there it felt like it was forever before our offense saw the ball again. So it, you know, I'm not really concerned. I feel like offensively we did a lot of really nice things. We did, you know, it's just especially for Aaron on his first game back, we'll definitely be better.
Jets 1-7 in primetime games under Robert Saleh, the worst mark by any team with at least 3 primetime games since he took over in 2021. That includes 5 consecutive losses in primetime since the Week 1 victory on Monday night a year ago. To be fair to them, man, that's where they lost Rodgers, and then the quarterback situation after there was pretty grim, though they did have Rodgers tonight, so that's where things stand. You're going to see him in a lot of primetime windows this year. See if they can improve upon that.